seen one intentional community, you've seen them all, right? Intentional communities come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes, only limited by the imagination of the people who start them. Hi, my name is Sky Blue, and I am the Executive Director of the Fellowship for Intentional Community. Today I'm going to explore the question, what are the different kinds of intentional community? Every intentional community has unique qualities and its own unique set of circumstances and people. One of the great things about intentional communities is that they can be whatever the people who start them and live in them collectively decide. And there are plenty of useful guides and best practices based on decades of experience to help along the way. There are several different established models that tend to follow typical patterns. While not all communities identify with these terms or fit into these categories, let me tell you about eco-villages, co-housing, housing co-ops, and, big scary word, communes. Eco-village is an internationally used term defined as an intentional, traditional, or urban community that is consciously designed through locally owned participatory processes in all four dimensions of sustainability to regenerate social and natural environments. The eco-village movement includes newly established communities, but also includes many traditional communities in developing countries seeking a different path than conventional economic development. Co-housing is an intentional community of full-featured private homes clustered around shared space. Shared spaces typically include a common house as well as parking, walkways, and gardens. Neighbors also share resources like tools and lawnmowers. Households have independent incomes and private lives, but neighbors collaboratively plan and manage community activities in shared spaces. The legal structure is typically a homeowners association or condo association. Community activities include shared meals, meetings, workdays, a wide variety of social activities, and mutual support like child and elder care and carpooling. A housing cooperative is a legal entity that owns real estate, where each member purchases a share and each shareholder is granted the right to occupy one housing unit. As a form of ownership, housing co-ops can come in lots of forms, from collective households to apartment buildings to a set of single-family homes. Housing co-ops are great for creating and preserving community-controlled, affordable housing while also fostering the social fabric of community. While the term commune is generally associated with the counterculture and back-to-the-land movements of the 60s and 70s, the term actually dates back to the 12th century and generally refers to people living together with shared values and interests, collective property ownership, and a highly integrated social and economic lifestyle. Commune can be seen as a general term applied to lots of different groups and implies that they're seeking to live more closely and share resources more than other groups might. And there are a number of successful communes from the 60s and 70s still around today. Another important distinction amongst intentional communities is whether they're religious or secular. There's also communities in the middle that I'll call spiritual. There are lots of religious communities that are tied to a formal religion, including monasteries of all stripes. The intentional communities movement also has roots in the Quaker movement. What I'm calling spiritual communities tend to be more eclectic, not tied to a particular organized religion, and many offer an array of classes and retreats to the public. There are other key features that tend to define intentional communities. Whether a group is urban, suburban, or rural has a big effect on how they develop and what it's like to live there. Size is another. A household of 5 people is a much different living experience than a community of 50 or 100. Other defining features include how land and housing is owned, how the group governs itself, and how its finances are organized. The purpose of an intentional community can also make a big difference. Some are simply trying to create good places to live with reasonably like-minded people, to raise families, and have more of a sense of community than what the mainstream typically has to offer. Others are more mission-driven, perhaps with an embedded educational nonprofit, trying to demonstrate how people can live a more sustainable and equitable lifestyle. There's an incredible range of options available for just about every aspect of intentional community. The key is knowing what you want and then doing your research to figure out what systems and structures are going to best support and foster the kind of community you want to live in. Thanks for watching. Please check out our other videos to learn more about why intentional communities matter, what makes them successful, and how to find one that's right for you. And for a more detailed look at featured communities, check out our web series, Planet Community. You can also browse the 1,500 plus online listings for intentional communities worldwide in our communities directory. Use the advanced search and map functions to find communities by type, location, size, stage of formation, and more. Also, please check out our quarterly publication, Communities Magazine, available digitally by donation, and sign up for our bi-weekly e-news for updates from the movement, events, and specials from our bookstore.